How's it going, folks? And welcome back to Crystal Palace. Things are getting serious. The EFL Cup winner was Tottenham. They're not very good. What does that mean, you might ask? Well, it means there are only 6 European spots available for a league finish this year. We are currently in 6th. Today, we are doing an FA Cup fixture against Hull City, a chance to see some of our young hot prospects for the future in action, and also some of our older players. And following on from that, it's Manchester United. They are in 8th, a team who are predicted to do very, very well this year. They've been very, very disappointing, and a win against them could put us in a good position to get one of the aforementioned European spots. It's a big episode today. Let's get into it. So I feel like the scene is set now. Today is a bit of a weird episode just because I wanted to see some of the younger players in action, and this game in the FA Cup feels like a chance to rotate a tiny bit. Hull City down in the lower echelons of the Championship. That said, they did beat some Premier League opposition to make it this far, so they're not going to be pushovers. It's a chance to see some of our younger players in action as well. There are a couple of players here, like Hyundo, who looks absolutely phenomenal, who I feel like deserve the platform of an episode here on YouTube. The 18-year-old Ugandan goalkeeper was over at AFCON playing for Uganda. He's improving a lot. Dare I say, he could be the replacement for Mario Ruiz. I mean, when you look at the polygon like this, I may be getting a little bit carried away, but I think he could be the first choice goalkeeper of the future. A chance for him to prove himself today. But before we get too carried away with that FA Cup game against Hull, let's talk about the 5 matches since you were last here. 4 in the league, 1 in the cup, and well, the most difficult of the games, we didn't lose. I consider that a small little win. We got a 1-1 draw against Liverpool. It's a very good Liverpool team, as you can see here. De Silva and Gorojaga, the 2 former Liverpudlian players. I say Liverpudlian like they're from Liverpool. I feel like they were inducted in when they signed for the club. You can see here in the case of De Silva, signed for £675,000. We spent 44 million on him. And well, over on the other wing, Gorojaga, of course, signed for 72 million from Liverpool. Are we like the Bournemouth, like of a few years ago in the future? This had never really dawned on me before. Either way, it wasn't the most convincing of performances. Defensively, we were great. 40, Arian B, thrown in at the deep end, had to come in out of necessity. Tullio and McIntosh all played well. Ruiz in goal did solid. The rest of the team, less so. And in the end, it was Severin, the super sub, we love some alliteration here, who grabbed us a goal in the 83rd minute, not before Haaland had missed a penalty, and a share of the spoils we got. Into the month of February, and we kicked things off with a 2-0 win against West Ham in the FA Cup third round. Severin with the 2 goals in this game. Yeah, 3 goals in 2 games for him in this mini run of games. And yeah, he got the start in this game. He showed us what he was made of. He will be starting the game against Hull today. Onwards from that, 2 clean sheets kept in our last 3 league games. The first, a win against bottom of the table Fulham. A rotated team played here. Aboubakari and Woodward getting on the score sheet alongside Gorojaga. We did, unfortunately, succumb to defeat against Arsenal. They're going very strong at the moment. So it was a difficult game, didn't really show up. Most recently, we eked out an away win against West Ham, and it was Middleby with the all-important goal. Wasn't the best team performance by any means, but we took the one chance that came our way. Gorojaga grabbed another assist to add to the collection. Of course, before his injury, he was leading the assists with 10, like months ago. He's now officially up to 11, which feels a bit sad. I feel like it could be so much higher without the injury. If we look at his form, he has struggled since he's come back into the team to really find the level that he was at before. But the good news is he's recovering, got the assist there, got us a win there, and this is how the league table looks. We are on 50 points in 6th place. Everton and Manchester United, the 2 teams breathing down our necks. Of course, only the top 6 teams get European football because of Tottenham winning the EFL Cup. Of course, the cup competition, we lost last year, which makes it all the more bitter because if Everton had won in the final, they lost on penalties, there would be an extra European spot to do battle for in 7th, assuming Everton finish in the top 6, which, I mean, I'd like to think we'll keep them outside the top 6, but at the moment, it's so close, you can't really predict it with 9 games remaining. So anyway, we've got 2 matches to play today. The first is in the Cup, and as a result of the Championship opposition, we're going to rotate things. We've talked about Hyundo. He is going to play in goal. At the back, maybe a chance to say a fond farewell to a couple of players. Omar Richards has already announced he's leaving the club at the end of the year to go to Sporting Lisbon. As you can see here, 35 years old. He's he's not really good enough anymore. He's getting on a bit. I wasn't going to offer him a new contract. He's decided to move over to Portugal at the end of the year. Out on the other hand side, we've got Shackleton in at right back. Similar situation. He's not yet found a move, but he has announced his intentions to leave at the end of the year at 33 years old. With where we're at right now, he's not really good enough. He's certainly not going to be good enough once we're in European football. So as a result, not offering him a new deal. Elsewhere, of course, we've got Valdir and Omar Bamidele in at the back. A chance for them to hopefully pick up some minutes. Worth noting that Arian B forced a loan for himself on deadline day. Wasn't happy loaning him out, but at the same time, I didn't really want to cause a stink in the dressing room by not getting rid of him. Lots of players wanted him out, so we've loaned him out. Elsewhere, Franklin needs regular first-team football, so he's going to Blackburn. That does mean that we've got a bit of a makeshift look about us at the back. Originally, I was hoping to play Agayi in this game. Of course, young prospect, centre-back, one of our hot prospects. High hopes for him. He is injury-prone. He has picked up an injury. It's a thigh strain for the centre-back. You can see at 18 years old, he is phenomenal. Great opportunity this would have been for him to play, but, well, he can't play. So it's not a great opportunity at all. It is, however, an opportunity for Aboubakari and Newton, two other English players in our team. Two centre mids we picked up this year, really to be squad options. They've been pretty useful so far this year. You can see between them 18 starts, 10 appearances on off the bench. Not necessarily putting in the craziest ratings, but subs don't tend to anyway. And especially at centre mid this year, players just don't really get good ratings. So a chance for them to show us what they're all about. Ahead of them, we're going with Carlier. Of course, we made a big fanfare about this man when we signed him. He actually got sent off in the win against West Ham in the previous round of the FA Cup. So he's missed the last 3 league games that we've had. He's back unsuspended for today's game, so he comes in with a shot at redemption. Out on the left-hand side, we go with Woodward, who has been one of our top performers this year. 4 player of the matches, leads the way in the entire squad. Out on the left-hand side, the 27-year-old, signed for 45 million. He's been a really, really good impact sub, of course. He came in to replace Kazoo. He's kind of done the Kazoo role in the team. So Woodward's out on the left. This man is out on the right. Nicolas Lozano. High hopes for this man. The former Real Madrid hot prospect. You can see if we just look at his development since he joined the club. Has he developed much, you might ask? I'd argue he has. Look, he's only been at the club 7 months. Some solid progression made at 18 years old. Hoping he's going to come good. We're going to see what he's all about today. Already made 1 appearance in the FA Cup. And up top, it's going to be Severin. I realise I've not really acknowledged the fact I have been playing the 4-2-3-1. If you watched last episode, you know what was going on. I got annoyed with the 4-3-3. We decided to switch to this, and it worked. So I've stuck with it since, and it's kind of continued to work. We've got a bit of momentum. Don't really want to touch it anymore. But that does mean, and I didn't really talk about this last time, the false 9 dream is dead for now. We have been playing back with an advance forward. That is how Severin is going to play, and that is the squad that's going to play for us today. I don't tend to normally do such a deep dive pre-game, but I feel like the squad players, the players that don't play every single live com, sometimes get lost in the mess of an episode. Just like, well, this goal almost did in my rambling in this mess of an episode. He scored after 4 minutes. Woodward with the ball in. Omar Bamidele scores. And the man who was really the spearhead of our defence, a spearhead of our defence. I could have come up with the shield of our defence last year in the Championship. That's a better analogy. Omar Bamidele has popped up with a header, giving us the lead here 1-0. We're going to hope we can do more here, although Hull going to be on the attack. As the Championship team going down early, they need to respond. They have responded. It's 1-1 after 6 minutes. I mean, what I was about to say is I feel like this is a great episode to showcase some of the squad players. Players who don't always play in the live comps. Players who you kind of just see as a name on the team sheet on the bench or sometimes outside of the bench. And you might forget who they are. And it was a chance for them to impress. They've not impressed me. Don't think they've impressed you either. 6 minutes gone. And Hull back in this game. I feel like since Hull's goal, it's got very cagey. There's not been a lot of chances. There's not been a lot of highlights. I was hoping after the early goal, we're going to grab this game by the scruff of the neck and really run away with it. It's not happened that way, and we could be called into some more defensive action. We've already conceded kind of from one cross into the box. We very nearly conceded from another. That one headed just wide. Shackleton over on the right-hand side for us. Can he get the ball into the box? Lozano takes it down on his chest, hits the post. It would have been an incredible goal, cutting in from the right-hand side on his weaker left foot. Unfortunately, the woodwork denies him. Good to see Shackleton involved in the build-up play. I guess for him and Richards, it's kind of their swan songs here. It's their potentially fond farewells. You may never see them on a football pitch in Crystal Palace colours, so if you've been a fan of Omar Richards or Shackleton, which I realise I'm probably talking to like one person, because let's be honest, they've not played very much. You'd have to be a bit of a hipster to be a fan of either of them. But if you are that one fan, you know, embrace the farewell and embrace the next generation coming through, because Severin tucks it away. Lozano gets the assist. And, well, after not seeing a goal since the 5th minute of the first half, we now have one with just 5 minutes left of the first half. Severin wide to Lozano. It wasn't a particularly good pass to Lozano, but that ball through was nice. The run well-timed, and the finish on this occasion well-placed into the bottom corner. We retake the lead here. A second goal here before the break could be kind of nice. It would help me remain calm. Severin, Newton, dribbling with the ball, lays it wide to Jamie Shackleton. Lozano, he's through on goal. He finds the back of the net, and he finds his first goal for Crystal Palace. It was a lovely ball through by Shackleton. Lozano has been very, very feisty, I feel like, out on the right-hand side. A bit of a handful for the Hull City defence, and well, on this occasion, they could not contain him. Shackleton making the overlapping run. Lozano gets in behind, and then a hammered home finish in at the near post gives us a doubling of our lead. And at the break, it's going to be 3-1. I'm a very, very happy bunny. I'm happy. Passing's been great. We've looked like the better team. More of the same in the second half. And more of the same would be, well, scoring here. Woodward, cutting inside, gives it to Carlier, who I feel like has been a little quiet in this game. The £52 million man. I feel like I shouldn't say the price tags as some signings allowed. Like Woodward, £45 million. That finish, not ideal. Valdir at the back today, of course, playing at centre-back, normally a defensive mid, but with all the midfield talent we have in the current centre-back situation, he is the man slotting in at the back. He's not really ready-made for the role. Certainly wouldn't be my first choice. He lacks some of the main things I look for in a defender, and I do feel like he can be a little bit mad. And well, talking about madness, he's been caught out of position, but that finish was awful, oh my word. We've been let off the hook there. Omar Richards looked a little slow getting back. Looked like a 35-year-old there as he chased the ball back. Unfortunately for him, or rather fortunately for him, it's not ended up in the back of the net. We've made it to 60 minutes. It's still 3-1. Carlier, I don't want to mention how much he's got. He's cost us a lot of money. He can't even do it against Hull. Elsewhere, Newton has been kind of meh, so I'm going to bring in Ulrich for him. Make a double change on 60 minutes. And I would like to see a few more goals. We're meant to be taking on a weaker team. This was meant to be a bit, not an exhibition, but, you know, a chance to put some of the younger players in the shop window who maybe aren't quite at Premier League level yet. It's not happened for us. But there's still time. There's still time. 22 minutes on the clock. Aboubakari to Ulrich. Plays it forward to Severin. Wide to Lozano, who currently I think is on course for man of the match. He has been running the show for us. He floats it in. Severin can't quite get his head on it. But we do still have the ball. It's with Junior. Woodward hits it from range just wide of the post. Time is just whizzing by here. There's not really been that many chances in this second half, which, I mean, on the one hand, I'm a little disappointed. On the flip side, we are making it through in the FA Cup. And given the fact the board expectation is to reach the final, you could argue it was a gamble to play a rotated team against the Championship club, albeit a small gamble. The good news is for us, the gamble's paid off. We've now got a fourth, finally. It's Junior on off the bench who's got it. Severin with the assist. Questionable goalkeeping at best. But, well, a shout out to the fans of ours who made the away trip, who have stood out in the rain as it's lashed down in Hull. No one wants to go to Hull. And, well, they've made that trip. They've turned up. They've seen us win 4-1. And hopefully they can go home happy. I should also say, Hull is actually lovely. I studied at the University of Hull. So I feel like I'm allowed to slate Hull slightly. It's nothing personal. If you're from Hull, please don't come for me. Also, please don't, University of Hull, please don't strip away my degree. Thank you. We could get a fifth here still. Valdir with it. We have played over the added time now, but because we've scored in added time, there's probably another chance here. Severin through. Could he score again? Of course he can score again. It's goal number 13 for the season. Woodward with an assist makes it 5-1. And if it wasn't already game, set and match, it's definitely game, set and match. Now, this is game over. Kind of ironically, the real standout performers haven't been all the youngsters. It's kind of been some of the more familiar first-team players. I was kind of hoping that the likes of, well, I was going to say Lozano and Kayondo could be standout. I guess Lozano's looked good. Kayondo as the goalkeeper hasn't had a great deal to do today. But in the end, some clinical finishing. Hopefully we can see more of that in the league. And as you can see, just looking at the ratings, good team performance. So Severin picks up man of the match. We'll give him a little bit of praise for that. And now we have to prepare for Manchester United. So another reason to rotate the team was this game against Man U. Media prediction of 3rd. They're currently in 8th. They are not far behind us at all, though, only trailing us by 4 points. So a win for them could put them within 1 point of us. And whilst I know our fixtures to end the year are, I don't want to say slightly on the easier side, but they are on the kinder side. Make no mistake, it's going to be tricky, and we need to be at our best. So we've rested up players. We're going to be in full strength just about. Let's see if we can go and do the business. Okay, folks, game number 2 today, taking on Manchester United. This is a pretty big one. They're in 8th, as we've already set the scene. We're in 6th. Just one thing I want to acknowledge here. Chelsea, remember Chelsea? They offered me the job. Well, they are unbeaten in their last 20 games in the league. They've drawn 1 game in that time. It was against us. Suddenly the draw last episode seems like an incredible result, and they are up to 3rd. I kind of wish we could go on that kind of run. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I mean, we still could to end the year, even if there isn't quite 20 games remaining. And well, a win here would be rather sweet. So let's talk about team news, because things are changing versus last game. We've got lots of new players returning into the first team, such as Fofana, who was away at AFCON all of last episode. He has slotted back in. As you can see here, only played 3 matches since his return. Hasn't been super standout, but then again, I guess with a right back, they're never going to be particularly flashy. Alongside him, we've got, of course, got McIntosh and Tilio in the middle of the defence. Out on the left, we've got 40. Ruiz returns in goal. De Silva and Gorojaga are going to play on the left and right. Of course, we've already talked about them being former Liverpool players. I'm hoping they're going to want to get one over on Manchester United as a result. In the midfield, we are going to go with Henia and Ulrich, and ahead of them, we're going to go with Carlier, back from suspension. Since we've changed to the advance forward from the false 9, Middleby is one player who really has suffered. His form has been kind of hit and miss. I mean, if we highlight his attributes here as an advance forward, he should be phenomenal. But I feel like he's blown very hot and then he's blown very cold. And I don't really know what to attribute that to. On the one hand, he's got amazing consistency, so he should always be performing to the attributes we see here. On the flip side, not really translated like that on the pitch. The obvious man to bring in would be Severin, I suppose. But besides the game against Hull, which inflated his numbers a little bit, he had been on a little bit of a slowing down patch. So you know what? I'm going to keep faith in Middleby. Elsewhere, the bench is strong. We have the likes of Woodward, Angelo Jr., Omar Richards, Valdir, Abubakari, Newton, Mariba. There's options. We really can change things up, and obviously that's something we lacked when we struggled, and earlier on in the year as well, just due to injuries. But when we have all our players available, which we just about do now, we have a formidable starting squad, and a squad that really, I think, is capable of beating Manchester United here. I feel like the game against Hull was the sparring session. This is the main event. This is the title fight, except it's not actually for the title. It's to try and qualify for the Europa League, but that doesn't sound as sexy. Of course, at Old Trafford, we won this game, so I'm going in with a little bit of optimism, and I don't know if that's faux optimism, if that's just delusion, but I do want to believe we can do something here, although slightly concerning that 20 minutes in, we're yet to have a shot, despite, though, the fact we have had a lot of the ball. So maybe we can convert our possession into a chance, as Jadon Sancho hits a free kick just over the bar. First highlight of the game, it's a free kick from range. Neither team looking particularly good halfway through the first half, but there might be a chance from open play here because Tilio's got the ball. Ulrich gives it away, and now it's Gomez bringing it forward for Manchester United. It's switched over towards Sancho. Fofana does well to read it and nods it back to Ruiz with confidence. I think one of the things that really served us well in some of the more difficult games this year is just a great defensive performance. When we stole away a draw against Liverpool, our defence all played really, really well. And so, and so I'm hoping that with our full strength back 5 here today, we're going to show more of that. What's just happened? If you thought the Kevin incident yesterday was bad, the curse of the commentator really is something special at the moment. Ruiz has kicked it straight to Adeyemi. He puts it in the bottom corner. It's 1-0 Manchester United. And I just don't like Football Manager. Just to be clear, that was just my throat giving out. I didn't actually start choking up and bordering on crying, I promise. I'll level with you. Not been a classic. For a game that we desperately need to win, the fact we've not had a shot despite having 55% of the ball is concerning. The XG story, I mean, there's the story in Balamory. I don't want to know about it. There's one big chance here. We all know what happened. We all know what happened. You've been terrible so far. It's not really worked. I might go back to the old system. I mean, the beauty of things is that we can literally change between our old system and the system we've played as of late. I feel like with this system, the inside forwards can get a little further forward and maybe craft out opportunities. And against teams who sit deeper with the ball, or without the ball, having these runners from deep can cause them some issues. I'm going to hope that's going to be the case, as we have had our first shot of the game, everyone. And another. Okay, maybe things are improving for the better. Manchester United, not had a shot in this second half. We've had two. That's 2-0. It's not how football works, though, unfortunately. We need to make some changes here. Ulrich hasn't been particularly good, but neither has anyone in the team, really. Middleby's been disappointing, so I'm going to bring in Severin, I think, just because he's been on better form. Normally, I would bring in Junior. Elsewhere, De Silva, I'll be honest, not been loving him lately. Woodward, when we've used him, has been good. And I feel like his pace on off the bench makes him the ideal candidate to bring in a match like this. So we're going to throw him into the team and see what he can do. The double change made. Still, United haven't had a single shot in the second half. But unfortunately for us, we're not getting any highlights. We've got to, I suppose, just try and get the ball forward a little bit quicker here. It's so annoying to be 1-0 down in this game when we've conceded a goal that was completely of our own doing. And if that is going to be the only goal of the game, if indeed we're not going to have a highlight in this entire half, I just feel sad. And it's going to be exactly that. We stepped things up in the second half. I mean, when you look at the XG story, you can see here Manchester United just didn't do anything. Could I have thrown a few more men forward towards the end? Maybe, but we already play such an attacking style of play. It's difficult to want to go more attacking. Manchester United win 1-0. Ruiz with the best assist of the game. Good job, Mario. Good job. So with that result, Manchester United closed the gap to us to just 1 point. The good news is Everton did slip up. They've been really poor this year. I have got to be a little bit wary about the board expectations for this year and the club vision. Apparently, Manchester United enter the Europa Conference League race. I believe that's just the game bugging out. I believe that is the actual Europa League, not the Conference League that we're doing battle for. I mean, if it is the Europa Conference League, that competition is just a little bit depressing to be involved in. But I suppose it is technically European football. You can see, looking at the club vision here, currently a C+. And they're satisfied with the progress towards qualifying for the Europa League. I can't help but feel like reaching the FA Cup final could end up being rather important. I suppose the good news for us is, if we just look at things, in the quarter-final, we've been drawn against Reading. They're in the Championship. Probably not going to come back for that game because I back us to win it. But I'd like to think, next episode, there might be an FA Cup semi-final. So just to look at how the end of the season is for us, the reality is we've got a very easy run-in. We've just got to actually win the games. We've got Brentford in 19th, Southampton in 17th, Nottingham Forest in 18th. These are all teams right around the bottom of the table. Leicester in 14th, Burnley down in 10th, Newcastle, they're top. They're at St James's Park when they play us. That's not going to be easy. But then Norwich and Wolves to finish. In our remaining, how many games? In our remaining 8 games, 7 of them are against teams in the bottom half. Well, I mean, at least the Hull City game was good today, from my perspective. The Manchester United not one, not a classic. Curse of the commentator struck, and we didn't really respond. But next episode, hopefully we'll be turning things around. Hopefully we will still be in the top 6. That's where we need to be. I mean, the draw's been kind in the FA Cup, so hopefully we can get success there. Hopefully we'll be in the final. I know the board want the final. I want to win the whole thing. I want domestic success this year. Let's try and make it happen. If you have enjoyed today's episode, as always, do drop a like on it. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm and all that good stuff. Other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow for more. Thank you for watching. It is me, Jack. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.